Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Friday, January 21st, 2011, a cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. By the way, we got some good news. Another company has come along and said, you know, we have been watching JC on this Daily Dose thing. You guys do a pretty good job at Mind Active. What do you say we do business? What do you do? Our website, do our web strategy. So we got another one, of course, Mind Active running the KTRS website now too, in addition to jc'sdailydose.com. So we're very, very happy about all that. We have archives at the top of the page, eye candy along the bottom of the page, and you can check that stuff out. We have some great old television history up there. All right, a couple of stories going on. You know, last year, for the entire winter season, 14.5 inches of snow. So far this year, 21.4 inches of snow. Guys driving along downtown last night, drives through plate glass window, just happens to be a Hooters restaurant. I am working on the definitive joke for that story. I don't have it yet, but don't give up on me, okay? And by the way, amazingly, every television station in town was first with the forecast, was the most credible source for information during the snowstorm, and everybody did a great job. I know that because it says it on all of their promos. Every station running a promo right now. We had the best coverage, we had the first coverage, we had the most accurate forecast. It's just interesting because I don't remember anybody saying we were going to get 10 inches of snow, but there they go again. All right, let's just face it here. The National Enquirer is scum. They're bottom-feeding cretins. However, the last couple of years, they've been making news because I've been getting a story right every once in a while. Like the John Edwards story, for example. I mention that because here we go. Sarah Palin's husband, Todd, we've been hearing these stories for a while, that maybe Todd was messing around or something. Well, they got a woman's name here, Shaylee Tripp, a massage therapist and computer technologist. Interesting combination. And they say that Todd has been fooling around with her. This woman, by the way, 36 years old, was arrested on March 4th, 2010 in Anchorage and charged with maintaining a house of prostitution. Won't it be interesting to see if, as they did with John Edwards, they got the goods on Todd Palin? Watch this space. I don't understand a lot of sexual fetishes, and I especially don't understand the one where a grown man will strip down into nothing but a diaper and then like a woman will come along and whip him and stuff. I don't understand stuff like this. But people are into it. And somebody approached the Octomom, Nadia Suleiman, and said, will you do one of these videos? And she said yes. Because she had a garage sale. And amazingly, it didn't raise the $465,000 that she needed to stay in her house. So she says, how much you give me? And it must have been a sweet deal because she puts on this bustier. I have to tell you, she doesn't look half bad. We ran one of the pictures yesterday on Eye Candy. Well, the video is out today, and I watched it, and I may never be involved in sexual relations again. It's just, you just sit there and you're like, you gotta be kidding me. You know, I debated putting it up on Eye Candy today, and why put you through that, okay? So just don't. Former Vice President Dick Cheney on with Brian Williams on NBC, and he says that apparently the only thing keeping him alive is like a hose going through his chest, and he's got some sort of a battery pack, and the thing is basically keeping him alive. I guess he didn't even have a pulse. He's considering a heart transplant. The doctors who would be involved in doing that transplant are a little concerned, though. They're afraid when they take the old one out, they might get freezer burn on their fingers. Where's my Z-Pack? Still fighting this thing. 6 weeks. Still fighting. American Idol. You know, first, the good news and the bad news. The good news is that the 2-hour premiere the other night averaged 26.1 million viewers. And that's down 13% from last year. That's the bad news. You know, I mean, it's crushing all of its competition. The Paula Abdul Live to Dance show on CBS only had 5 million. 5 million to 26.1 million viewers. American Idol down in some of the key demographics too, so there's a lot of people jumping up and down going, gosh, what's the deal? Well, I think Idol was averaging 19 or 20 million viewers last year, which is down from previous years, but you could still lop off another 5 from that and have 15 million viewers, and that would still be an outrageously awesome show in terms of ratings. So there's a lot of people running around just trying to, you know, a show is good for a while, and then maybe it's not as great as it was, and then people want to just run it off the air. You get 18, 19 million people watching your TV show, you're doing fine. So, whatever. The Harris poll people doing polls on everything from presidential elections to pop culture for years and years and years. They must have been in this business 50 years. So 25 years ago, they asked people, what's your favorite sport? And at that time, 25 years ago, football came in number one at 24%, edging out Major League Baseball by 1 percentage point, 24 to 23%. So now they do the poll, and the margin is 31 to 17%. Football, 31%, 17% for baseball. College football, by the way, third, racing fourth, the NBA fifth, and I got a couple of problems with this. Number one, they do the poll during football season. What do you expect? And number two, when the National Football League plays 162 games a year and puts 20, 30, 40, even 50,000 people in the ballpark every night for 162 nights, that's when you'll convince me that football has replaced baseball as the national pastime. Okay? You can't do something 16 Sundays a year and claim to be the national pastime. I don't care what the poll says, and like I said, I think it's flawed anyhow. So there. All right, we have a movie opening up in St. Louis today called The Company Men. I've seen it. It's pretty good, actually. Ben Affleck is in this movie, and I think he's a better director than he is an actor, but he's good in this. Kevin Costner, Tommy Lee Jones, Chris Cooper, Craig T. Nelson, Maria Bello, and there's a woman who plays the wife of Ben Affleck. I cannot remember her name, but she's excellent in this movie. Is it a great movie? Probably not. Is it good and worth your time if you want to see a movie this weekend? Absolutely. It's called The Company Men, and you can check that out if you like. All right, JC's Eye Candy this weekend. It was back in the 80s, and people started becoming very, very conscious of, facial imperfections. Everybody starts getting old. You start worrying about lines and wrinkles and stuff. And back in the 80s on cable TV, there was this chick with Farrah Fawcett hair. Actually, it was like Farrah Fawcett hair on steroids. And she was teaching people how to get rid of their lines and their wrinkles, but in doing so was very, very unintentionally funny, and was almost sort of like making like Pee Wee Herman faces and stuff. We have that as our eye candy feature today. It is really, really funny, so you have to check that out. All right, let's see here. We are going to be off for a couple of days, and we will resume the Daily Dose on Wednesday of next week. So we will talk to you, I don't know, when is that? Wednesday the 26th, okay? So that's when we will be back. So we're going to take a couple of days off. You're like, hey, you just had a couple of days off because you were sick. Yeah, well, I was sick. This is a scheduled trip. I'll tell you about it when I get back. So anyhow, that's it. JC's Daily Dose for Friday, January 21st, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. We are on the air every day from 10 o'clock until 1 on the Big 550 KTRS. Trish's Trash. Trish Gazelle back on the air with me, and she does the trash at 12:50 every afternoon, so we'll talk to you then. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.